You know the scenario. It is sitting in your calendar right now, staring at you.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's that massive concert at the Honda Center or, that huge rivalry game at Angel Stadium you've been hyping up for months.
The anticipation is peak. It's the best part of the event, honestly.
Exactly. You have the perfect seats, you are riding high,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hit the off-ramp.
Oh.
And the brake lights in front of you turn into this, this endless, unmoving sea of red, and suddenly the vibe just shifts. You're not thinking about the set list anymore. You're checking your watch every 30 seconds, doing that frantic mental math on whether you're going to miss the opener. The night is effectively ruined before you even scan your ticket.
It is the universal Orange County event experience, the anxiety of the arrival, and it's a shame because it's entirely preventable.
That is the big promise we are testing today. We're doing a deep dive into a set of logistical insights that, well, it claims to solve this exact pain point.
Right.
We're looking at the Smooth Travel Guide for Orange County Event Transportation, which draws heavily on the operational playbooks from Limo Service Anaheim.
And what stood out to me immediately about this guide and why I think it's worth a deep dive is that it doesn't treat traffic like, bad luck or the weather.
Right.
It treats it like a math problem.
Math problem.
Yes. The premise is that the chaos is predictable. The traffic patterns, the bottleneck points, human behavior, it's all data. And if it's predictable, it's beatable.
I love that. I want to be the logistics manager of my own fun.
You have to stop thinking like a typical attendee who just hopes for the best and start thinking like a logistics manager.
Okay, so our mission today is to reverse engineer a stress-free night out.
Yeah.
We are not just going to say leave early because, everyone says that and nobody listens.
Right. It's useless advice on its own.
We are going to get into specific metrics, some really counterintuitive parking hacks that honestly blew my mind, and how to manage that nightmare of group texts.
It's about ensuring the logistics don't overshadow the memory, because nobody wants to remember the traffic. They want to remember the show.
So let's unpack the problem first. Why is Orange County so specifically bad for this? Traffic is a reality everywhere, but a big event in OC just feels heavier, stickier.
It's what the source calls the wave phenomenon. You have to understand the anatomy of the chaos here. OC has these world-class venues, but the infrastructure, the roads themselves, they're designed for daily commuter flow.
So steady trickles, not a flood.
Exactly. The roads work fine at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, but they just break when the variables change.
So it's not just the number of cars.
No, it's the compression of time.
Yeah.
The guide calls it compressed arrival windows. Think about it. You have 15,000 people trying to get into a venue, and human nature says they all try to arrive between 7 and 7:30 for a 7:30 show.
That's a physical impossibility.
You're trying to pour a gallon of water through a funnel in 3 seconds. It spills over, and that spillover is you sitting on the Catella Avenue off-ramp for 40 minutes.
And the source says the friction points are really specific.
Oh, they are. It's the limited entry points into the parking lots, thousands of cars funneling into maybe 2 or 3 lanes to pay an attendant.
And then, even if you park, you're not done. I always forget this part. I think, I'm in the lot, I'm safe.
That is a false sense of security. You still have the walk, the security line, the metal detectors, the bag check.
Right.
The guide notes that the final mile, the surface streets, and the parking lot itself, that's where time actually disappears. The 57 might be fine, but that last mile can take as long as the previous 20.
That is where the black hole is. Okay, so we know the system is rigged against the late arrival. Let's talk strategy. How do we beat the clock with the numbers from the guide?
It starts with complete reframe of your arrival time. The source is really blunt about this. A 7:30 p.m. start time does not mean arriving at 7:15.
If you arrive at 7:15, you are late. You are listening to the first song from the security line.
Guaranteed. So let's look at the magic numbers from the guide. They break it down by the type of night, which I found super helpful.
Yeah, a Tuesday game is totally different from a Saturday concert.
Yeah.
So a weeknight event, you've got rush hour plus event traffic, a double whammy.
Exactly. The guide suggests a buffer of 60 to 75 minutes early. And that sounds like a lot to some people, what am I going to do for an hour? But you have to account for that rush hour stacking. You're fighting people just trying to get home from work in Anaheim.
Then for weekend events, big shows, rivalry games, they bump that up 75 to 90 minutes early.
Because weekend crowds are just denser. People arrive in bigger groups, which slows everything down. They're tailgating, lingering. It's a slower moving beast.
And then the big one, festivals. They say flat out 90 minutes early. Minimum.
At least. You've got multiple entry lines, wristband checks. If you don't buffer that 90 minutes, you are spending your festival time standing on concrete outside.
Now, there was one tip in the timing section that I thought was genius because it called me out personally.
Oh, the pre-event trap.
Yes, the classic mistake.
I think everyone's done this.
So many times. You plan to meet friends for dinner before the show, but you pick a restaurant that's like 10 miles away.
Right, because it's got good reviews. So you fight traffic to dinner, have a nice meal, and then you have to get back in the car and drive to the venue right at the peak of the traffic wave.
You've split your night into 2 high-stress drives.
Yes. The guide says, stop doing this. If you're doing dinner, do it within walking distance of the venue. Park once, eat, walk over.
It removes a variable.
And that's the key. Once your car is parked, the stress is over.
They also mention that subtle timing trick, the off-hour arrival.
Yes. Human beings love round numbers. We aim for 7 p.m. or 7:30, so the roads are jammed at those times. The advice is to aim for the off times.
Like 6:40 or 7:20.
Exactly. You'd be surprised how much smoother the flow can be just 20 minutes off the peak.
That is such a great psychological hack. Okay, let's talk about parking, because this is where the guide dropped the most counterintuitive advice of the whole deep dive.
Park for the exit, not the entrance.
It sounds so wrong. My instinct is to circle the lot like a shark until I find that spot right next to the gate. I feel like I've won if I get that close spot.
And that instinct is exactly why you get stuck in the parking lot for an hour after the show. You might win the arrival, but you absolutely lose the departure.
Walk us through the logic. Why is the close spot a trap?
Think about the flow. When the show ends, thousands of cars are trying to leave at once. It's a stampede. The cars closest to the venue gates are the absolute furthest from the street exit.
You're boxed in.
Geometrically boxed in. You have to wait for every single car that parked after you to leave before you can move an inch.
So I'm trading a short walk now for a massive headache later.
Exactly. The source argues distance equals flow. A spot near the exit might be a 10-minute walk-in, but you're out in 5 minutes later while the prime spot people are gridlocked for 45.
So the walk is an investment in a fast getaway.
It's a trade-off. Do you want to walk or do you want to idle? I'll take walking.
Me too. They also mentioned prepaying for parking. Is that just a convenience thing?
It's about speed. Fumbling for a credit card at the gate slows everyone down. But more importantly, prepaying often gets you into a dedicated lane.
A faster lane.
Right, a prepaid-only lane that moves twice as fast. And there's a choice factor, too.
What that?
If you arrive early, you have the luxury of choosing that easy exit spot. You can scout it out. If you arrive late, you park where they tell you to park.
Which is usually in the deepest, hardest to exit corner of the lot.
Of course.
Okay, that covers driving yourself. But a lot of us think, hey, I'll just take an Uber or a Lyft. The guide. Well, it had some warnings about that.
He calls it the rideshare reality check because it feels like the magic bullet, you know, modern and easy. But it introduces a whole new set of risks.
It's a tale of 2 cities, it seems. Pre-show versus post-show.
Exactly. Pre-show is generally fine, but post-show, that is where the system just collapses.
We all know about the surge pricing, but they talked about phantom wait times.
This is so frustrating. Your app says a driver is 8 minutes away, but because of that final mile gridlock, that driver is physically stuck. They might be 8 minutes away by distance, but 25 minutes away by time.
And then the driver cancellations.
Right. Drivers are smart. They see the red lines on the map around the stadium. They know if they accept your ride, they might get stuck for 40 minutes to earn a $10 fare.
It's not worth it for them, so they just cancel.
So you're standing on the curb watching drivers accept and cancel, accept and cancel.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
So what's a tactical advice if you have to use a rideshare?
You manipulate the pickup location. Do not just drop a pin at the main gate. Look at the map. Choose a spot that's easy for the driver to reach without entering the traffic knot.
So walk a few blocks away.
Walk to a gas station 3 blocks away, somewhere with an easy in and out. You're making yourself an attractive pickup for the driver.
That makes sense. Now, the source eventually pivots to something more robust. Scheduled transportation, private cars, limos.
Right. And they make a really important distinction. This is not just about luxury. It's about reducing uncertainty. It's risk management.
It's about control.
Exactly. When you book a scheduled ride, you remove the variables. You have a contract. The driver is already there. They are tracking the traffic for you.
The guide lists specific scenarios where this upgrade is worth the money.
Yeah.
What stood out?
Definitely the sold-out concerts and rivalry games. maximum chaos events. The value of having a guaranteed escape vehicle just goes way up. You walk out, you get in, you leave.
They also mentioned corporate outings.
Oh, that's a big one. If you're entertaining clients, you cannot be standing on a curb checking your phone for a lost Uber. It looks unprofessional. It kills the vibe.
Large groups.
Yeah, coordinating 3 Ubers is a headache. Putting everyone in one Sprinter van or a limo bus, the travel becomes part of the party.
And they specifically mentioned theme park transportation for the Anaheim area.
Which makes total sense for families. You've spent all day at Disneyland, the kids are done. The last thing you want is a logistical hurdle. A pre-booked car with car seats ready. That's gold for a parent.
That leads perfectly into the section on herding cats, or, as we call it, managing a group.
The host's nightmare.
Always. What's the golden rule here?
The one vehicle rule. Whenever possible, travel in one vehicle. It simplifies the whole equation.
And if you can't,
then you need the meeting point rule. And this is crucial. Never use vague descriptions.
like meet me near the entrance.
Terrible. Which entrance? Near what? Near the entrance covers like 3 acres of land at some of these places. By the hot dog stand.
There are 12 hot dog stands.
You need to be specific. Meet at the Starbucks on the corner of Catella and Main. Use concrete landmarks.
They also suggest setting a meet time that's different from the door time.
Yes. If doors open at 6:30, tell your group the meet time is 5:50. Build in the buffer for the friend who is always late.
I feel attacked.
It protects the group from its slowest member.
Okay, they also mentioned the end-of-night energy crash for families.
This is so real. Kids, and honestly, a lot of adults, they hit a wall. Having a planned ride waiting saves the night. Standing in a rideshare line with a crying 6-year-old is not the memory you want.
No, definitely not. Okay, so we've survived the show. Now, the exit strategy. How do we leave without rage?
The advice here is patience, which is hard. The guide suggests waiting 10 to 15 minutes after the show ends before you even try to move.
Just sit in your seat.
Or browse the merch stand, go to the bathroom. Let that first wave of frantic people rush to the parking lot and sit in the gridlock. By the time you get to your car, the initial knot has often loosened.
And if you're getting picked up,
The walk-away tactic again. Walk 1 block away from the main gates. The difference in pickup access just 100 yards from the congestion is drastic.
and they had one rule in all caps, consistency.
Do not change plans midstream. This is vital. If you told your driver you're at spot A, don't suddenly walk to spot B. You will lose each other. Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. I like it. Now, we have to touch on safety. It's easy to overlook when you're on that post-concert high.
It is. The source lists some overlooked risks. Fatigue is a big one. Your reaction times are slower.
And distractions. Pedestrians everywhere.
The tips are simple but essential. Charge your phone early. A dead battery kills your coordination. Bring a portable charger.
And watch out for the rush risk.
Aggressive driving in the parking lot, cutting people off, it rarely works, and it drastically increases the chance of a fender bender. Just breathe, let the other guy go.
They also touched on accessibility, and I liked how they broadened the definition.
Yes, accessibility is not just about wheelchairs. It's for anyone who needs a calmer pickup or less walking. An elderly parent, someone with a knee injury.
The advice is to confirm those drop-off areas and arrive earlier to secure them.
And communicate that need. A professional driver can often get you much closer. Don't be afraid to plan for it.
Before we wrap up, we should mention the resources the guide points to.
Absolutely. Don't guess. Check the venue intel. The Honda Center site, the Angel Stadium site, they update parking maps all the time.
And public transit, too. Metrolink, OCTA.
For some events, the train is a fantastic option. It bypasses the freeway entirely.
And if you're booking transport,
Vet them. The source mentions looking at verified reviews on Google Maps, Yelp, Facebook. Read what other people experienced. Don't just book the cheapest thing you find on Craigslist.
So let's bring it all home. What are the golden rules from this deep dive?
For me, it boils down to 3 things. 1, arrive earlier than you think, 60 to 90 minutes. 2, park for the exit, not the entrance. Sacrifice the walk. And 3, have a concrete plan for the return trip before you even leave your house.
It sounds so simple, but nobody does it.
And that's why nobody gets home on time.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why should we care so much about logistics?
Because transportation should be part of the event plan, not an afterthought. The difference between a great memory and a nightmare often comes down to that car ride home. You don't remember the encore if you spent 2 hours screaming at a parking attendant.
That is so true. So here is a thought to leave you with. Think about the value of peace of mind. We hesitate to pay for better parking or a scheduled ride or to leave 90 minutes early because it feels like a cost. But is it expensive? Or is it actually just cheap insurance against a ruined evening?
What is your stress-free experience worth to you?
A question worth asking. Thanks for diving in with us. Drive safe, everyone.
Safe travels.